A small community with approachable inhabitants, now introduced with a family that comes with an air of big city supremacy. This is what I first saw Schitt's Creek as.
These rooms did have doors, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a hotel. They're hotel rooms.
It's a motel.
The entire show is seen from the perspective of the Roses. And all I wanted to do by season 3 was burst that bubble and look at the entire land from a bird's eye view.
God, you are being super dramatic right now. Shut up and look for them!
What does this entire transaction between the Roses and the people of this society mean to the community as a whole?
What the hell is this?
The town sign.
Is this the real sign or the joke sign?
What do you mean?
You don't see anything wrong with this? The man. Standing awfully close to that woman, wouldn't you say?
Well, he's holding on to her so she doesn't fall into the creek.
Look a little
There
closer.
is no other
Ray.
simpler show to watch. But at the same time, nothing that this show portrays is simple.
Very popular. People come from all over to take a picture with it.
I'll bet they do.
For a sitcom whose premise is economic uncertainty, it portrays Schitt's Creek as a place where income inequality, class are no more a thing, and sexuality and race is not even addressed. This makes Schitt's Creek seem like it exists in a vacuum. The placelessness is what gave me the utopian vibe. The contrast between the capitalistic money is everything land that the Roses come from,
When were you in Johannesburg?
I remember I just got my braces off. So.
You were 14 in South Africa?
and the pragmatic, weirdly balanced town that they try to reluctantly fit in is what makes this show funny.
Whites and hoping the building will collapse.
Not once during the entire show was I allowed to forget that the Roses do not belong there. It was evident in their choices, in their clothes, and everything they do. But at the same time, they're subtly blending in and finding themselves.
You're just here to celebrate me? Oh, never in the history of surprises has one been so delightfully blindsided.
They're growing with their counterparts and building a family. This first came off as a rich to rags story, where the rich become more empathetic after losing everything. But this is somehow way more than that.
You come to me, wild and wide.
Who benefits off of whom is the dilemma here. After the financial blow that the Roses witnessed, they enter their gag town with nothing but several bags full of couture. In the first entire season, the Roses mock the town for what it is.
The world is falling apart around us, John, and I'm dying inside.
Well, I'm feeling a little queasy myself.
But soon they realize that they are the butt of the joke. The elitist attitude soon converts into a desperate attempt to
What,
survive.
are you here to tell me Alexis has skipped town with my lawnmower?
Rowan, these people have literally hit rock bottom. They're not in the mood for your jokes right now.
Their disinclined surrender to their reality, coupled with the townsfolk's way of letting everyone feel included, gives this show warmth.
I can't say no to anyone.
And also sets the stage for the American dream, or the mockery of it. The show begins with a lapse, proving that American dream is not the
grateful.
happy ending.
Oh. Bring it in, big guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something I want to do right now.
David, Dad's poor right now.
Moira, Johnny, and their full-grown but financially dependent children rely on the patriarchal models of the family structure to revive
Word to the
stability.
wise is all.
Okay. What does word to the wise even mean?
But that does not help. Though Johnny Rose is constantly shown as street smart with an "we will get back on our feet" attitude, he is ultimately the least skillful in adapting to the economic reality.
$2,000 in a dream, so it's all about planning. I see it every day.
The entrepreneurial adventure is what leaves the entire family out of the town.
It's a general store, but it's also a very specific store. And it's also not just a store, it's like a place where people can come and get coffee or drinks, but it's not...
Their path for financial independence is what makes them come together as a family and learn more about themselves. And this was not initiated by the head of the family.
A part of me feels like I'm almost glad that we lost the money.
In process, they are not only bettering themselves, but also reviving the spirits of the town.
help me all night long. It should have been you.
And one of the best examples of their influence is Stevie.
Fine. But I'm only doing this because you called me rude, and I take that as a
A
compliment.
person is finally shown as a businesswoman who is open to expressing herself and exploring her opportunities.
You just stand your solid ground. refusing to be anything but you.
Maybe this
Similarly, the town teaches David how to live. He finds himself in a healthy relationship for the first time in his life and a new business far from the toxicity he used to face. He got so much out of this bargain that he decided to continue to live his life in his cat town. Alexis, on the other hand, finishes school, falls in love, out of love, and in love again to only move on with grace. She also finds her passion and pursues it with her fist tight. While Johnny begins to build the motel business, Moira shoots a movie, becomes a member of the town council, and begins to culturally represent the town as a part of the Jazzagals and other events. The symbiotic relationship between the Rose family and the community is what appealed to me the most. I don't know what Schitt's Creek was before the Roses, but they definitely took a lot and gave a lot to it. And the distorted image of a town with no evil at all is what makes the show very unreal and real at the same time. But I am not complaining. Watching a show where a gay couple is not a product of tokenism feels healthy.
I'm gonna keep this very short because I think you already know that I would climb 1,000 mountains for you.
Schitt's Creek builds on the rigidist idea where belonging to a small community and family is seen as signs of stability in the times of uncertainty.
It's David and Patrick's big day. And on a personal note, I'd like to thank you all for helping to save my family over these past few years. I don't think we could have gotten through without you all.
More like how we see the world today, family and community becomes the focal point during crisis, either out of love or because that's what pop culture has taught us. But do you really think the storylines would remain the same outside this utopian bubble? Do you really think fitting into a community would be the biggest problem for an established elite in this real world?